Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Kuri, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. So I was in a warpath yesterday. I think I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. So on Instagram, I got a notification that one of the marriage therapists that I follow, I was doing a live. They were sort of a live Q&A. So I went to go and look because I'm curious. I follow these people because I want to see the content that they're putting out. And also, these are the guys that are being followed by so many other people. So, potentially my clients will come from them because we all know that therapists are shit when it comes to marriage counseling, or especially sexless relationship marriage counseling. I think there is some benefits of some stuff that they can do in terms of strategies. But generally, my opinion is that they're completely rubbish because they've got no idea what they're talking about. When it comes to a sexless marriage, you have to have had some experience of doing attraction for a long time, because a lot of it is a behavioral response. Sex is a behavioral response, and it is in dealing with trauma and all the other things that they talk about that is a factor in causing attraction. We deal with that within the reignited men, where we talk about the trauma and so on, and we don't even talk about healing the person. We talk about giving them tools to cope with it, because I don't believe that you can actually heal somebody from trauma because they've spent so many years developing strategies to cope with it. Even though if they are wrong and they're self-destructive, it's just giving them better coping skills, but not to heal them. It's very rare that you can actually heal somebody through a traumatic event. Still yet to be proven wrong. So anyways, this person was talking about how to reignite. So the question was, how do I bridge the gap between the mismatch in sexual desire? So basically, this guy's in a sexless relationship. And then she went on to say, you have to build an emotional connection and you have to do things to build an emotional connection. And then she went on to say, you have to do date nights and prioritize that. And you have to give her opportunity to not be a mom. So you get to start childminder, and then you go on and have some fun. And it all sounds very good. But my argument is, if all you needed was a date night, everybody knows that you need a fucking date night to spice things up. And if date night was the tool to fix things, everybody would be able to fix things in fact, nobody would have a problem. Because the first thing that you learn when you start searching on the internet is that you need to make time you need to take her out on a date night. You need to help around the house. So all these other things. So she was now regurgitating all this stuff that most people would read, that everybody knows. In fact, if you go to a sexless relationship Facebook group and you say, how do I change my sexless relationship? Which is funny. I find it absolutely hilarious. These people that are sexless start giving you advice on how to not become sexless. And the information that they gave is, you need to go on date nights, you need to do more around the house and all that stuff. And I'm thinking, well, if that's what is required, why has it not worked for you? So I find it hilarious because anyways. So my point being is that the interesting part, what she said, was that you need to rebuild the emotional connection. And that is a complete bullshit, because it sounds really nice when you say build an emotional connection. But what does that actually mean? Because if you base it on emotions, what emotion are you trying to elicit in order to move her from that emotion to seduction or emotion to arousal? So you have to think of it from that perspective. But there isn't that bridging of the gap of, okay, this is the type of emotion that you wanted to feel, and this is the emotion that it's going to bridge the gap between not wanting to have sex and wanting to have sex. So there is several things that are really wrong with this method that everybody's teaching out there, which is absolutely garbage. Like I said, it's if you base it on her emotionally changing, then you're setting yourself up for failure, because how she she expresses emotion or how she feels emotion is always dependent on things that you cannot control. So you trying to base it off having that emotional connection, there's going to be so many plates to spin to get the optimum emotion in order for you to get into arousal. So this is why this model doesn't work. It will never work. So what I teach is to create an environment where she will have a specific type of emotion. And this is the type of emotion where she's open to adventure, open to having fun, open to... So you to a certain extent, yes, you're creating an emotion, but I think there's this sort of idea of this Hollywood romance type thing where you say you need this emotional connections. And I'm guessing what I mean by emotional connection is some sort of love romantic thing, because there's nobody actually really defines what emotion it is. So, I mean, I could be wrong, I would want to be corrected, but nobody ever says what that emotion is. Because if you say emotion, I mean, anger is an emotion, happiness is an emotion, all these are emotions. I'm kind of having a rant tonight, so let me just let me calm down. I'm still a little bit annoyed with what was happening, because I ended up pointing them out. I said, really, this is bad advice, because what emotion are you talking about? And then she went on to write a whole big post about it, and using words like relational, and none of it made sense. And she said, dude, you still haven't told me what emotion moves somebody from, what emotion does that person need to feel in order for them to move into arousal or seduction? And they could not answer the questions. And then her fans obviously started smashing me about it, because they want to get favor from this person, or they put this belief already. But there was few people that actually saw where I was coming from, that I'm asking a genuine question, and if they were getting emotional. Funny part about it is that we're talking about emotions. I'm thinking you guys are getting angry, and this is to show that I've just made a comment and it just changed your whole entire state. So therefore, this is why emotions aren't your good basis on really changing your sexless relationship. So I'm making this episode so you can actually understand this. So some of you guys, you're taking all this information and you're hearing that you need this emotional connection. To a certain extent, it is true. You need to change her state so she can feel certain emotions, but it's not you having to do certain things for her to have that connection with you, that emotional connection. That emotional connection is when you're not having sex, but then you have to be dealing with controlling the environment so it's conducive for her to actually feel a specific way in order for you to move her from a normal state where she would be to actual arousal. So there's a process that you can do this. It's similar to when you are building a plant. The plant needs to be in soil, and then it needs sunlight, it needs water, so you create the environment for it to be able to germinate and grow. And it's similar when it comes to seduction and sex. You have to do the same thing, create an environment. And this is when we start talking about, being a leader, being decisive, being dominant. All these things are the things that will then give her the sexual comfort to actually now give herself into wanting to be seduced and wanting to go into that seduction period. So which is a very important factor when it comes to changing your sexless relation to sexual success. It's not you going on date nights or doing freaking dishes and ironing and everything else, which I do. By the way, I'm not saying don't do it. I do it, but I do it for myself. I don't do it in order to get sex from it, because that's transactional, and then therefore it's not going to induce the emotion that's going to get you laid. And neither you can go on a date night and go for a weekend away. That can induce emotion for her to have sex, but it only works for a little while, because when you come back to your house, because you don't have that environment where it's already built, you're just going to regress back to a sexless relationship. So again, this is why all of this shit doesn't work. So thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you've had fun with this episode, because for me it was fun. I absolutely enjoy this, because for us in terms of the market, this is probably the easiest for us. I think I can honestly say we're far ahead in terms of what we're teaching, in terms of nobody else is teaching what we're teaching, which is absolutely makes it exciting for us, because I can see some guys are now beginning to copy some of our content. They're stealing some of our stuff, which is perfectly fine. I want people to, we're innovating quicker than they can copy, which is also amazing. So thank you very much, guys. We'll be speaking to you guys soon. Take care.